Well, hello folks. We are continuing my annual summer garden tour series for 2024. What you're looking at right here is what we're going to cover next. This is the backyard garden bed. The way I do these tours, they're basically like a full inventory of everything in my cultivated area. And I think that they're pretty good for spotting, discerning what guilds are useful in the cross timbers ecosystem. Or if you have a similar ecosystem, these likely will work for you too. All right, without any further delay, let's get into this. All right, growing all in the ground here around this faucet is common mint. And it's quite delicious. You can see it spreads just fine. Let's see here. Chickasaw plum. And growing up in there is a passion flower. Maypop. Let's see here. We have a moonglow pear, a little dwarf pear growing in here. Let's see. We got some of that mint growing up under this tree, which is going to be real nice. And if you look, you can see some vines in the back, some passion flower vines. There's several actually. I have a little rosemary planted this year, growing nicely. Let's hope that gets nice and big.
That's what she said.
This is a domesticated plum called wild goose plum. And this is like its fourth year, I think. So it's grown all right. And we have a nice little wall of passion flower covering these trees. In the back here, I might take you around before I finish this section. That is an American plum. They don't grow well here. They're more like East Texas. I had one growing here and it died on its own. I didn't prune it or nothing. It's just, I guess it's old or can't take the last 2 years of drought. So I decided to use it as a trellis and made a nice little trellis for this passion flower. Of course, you'll see in all my videos this year, you'll see the ubiquitous sunflower growing everywhere and the prairie tea, which is also edible. Got a few other crops like that I may not mention in this video, but I do mention them in my other videos. Okay, you see got some more of that prairie tea there and passion flower growing. All right, let's come around here. Sunflower. All right. Yeah, here's that dead American plum that I'm using as a trellis, the back side of it. Its brother here is alive, but I probably should de-stress it a bit and get this vine off of it. Probably will do that eventually. All right, nice big patch of prairie tea here. Going all the way up there. To my left, I have a coral honeysuckle. Not edible, but, attracts the pollinators. See him badly need some water here. All right, now let's cover this garden bed. What you see here is not a complete garden bed. I don't grow in the whole thing. I'm converting the soil underneath, a very slow process. But there's a few things I do have going. Let's see here. Malbar spinach, excellent crop for permaculture, self-seeds. It just needs a bit more water than this ecosystem really delivers. But if you have an area of your yard that's moist, it's perfect. All right, we have some tree collard here. Richmond's purple tree collard. There's two here. Let's see what I got. And another one here. Yeah, that's a Richmond's purple tree collard. These I just grow just to have cuttings to propagate. I don't think it's a great crop for permaculture, but I still have it. Tomato, black cherry tomato. Now, you can see it's growing all up in there. It goes way back up under these sunflowers. Used them kind of as a trellis. I've noticed letting them grow along the ground like this, they tend to like that and produce pretty well. So I let them do it. All right, now we have a crop here that I did a video on some experimental crops, new crops that were new for me to grow this year. And here's one of them that actually was a winner. And this is perennial collard. So growing up in here in this fashion, stressing it the way I do, I have a whole video about why I do that. I think this is going to be a crop I'm going to start incorporating along with my Georgia collard, which is also very much like this, quite bomber proof. But we'll see. They're kind of competing right now for top spot for green leafy vegetable. Let's see here. Yeah, got some prairie tea. Let's go around the other side and get the rest of this. One thing I will mention about these sunflowers here is that besides being great trellis and converting my soil and the numerous benefits, the big difference they've made for me is the shade. Shade is key. So here we go. This is another one of those perennial collards. Seems to be growing real well. I had a Savannah mustard in one of my other videos, or at the beginning of this video, if I put it all together as one video. Actually, I had a Savannah mustard growing here, and it was another one of those experimental crops that, not a winner. It would be better to grow southern curly leaf. It does better. All right, let's see here. Of course, I mentioned the tomato. I may have called it something else because I misspeak and I'm getting hot out here. It's like 100 degrees, 105 degrees every day at this point, which is why I waited to this point to make the video. I usually make them earlier in the year, but I like to show my plants dealing with the stress of summer. It's like the worst time of the year to look at them.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
So here we have amaranth, and there's another amaranth back there that did less well. And we have one of those perennial collards doing nicely. A little small, but if it holds on to the winter, it should do just fine. Nice big patch of sunflower shading it out. Let's see, the last thing I have in this section, I do have some carrot going to seed here. Kind of see it right there. Let's see what we got back here. Oh yeah, comfrey. It's a nice crop to have. We have a nice patch of malbar spinach. Sunflower makes perfect trellis for it. The patch that grows a little bit better. See? And up underneath it, I got a coral honeysuckle. Probably should clear out this malbar. I think it's shedding out the honeysuckle a bit too much, but we'll fix that later. All right, moving on to this section of the backyard. All right, let's see what we got growing up in here. We got some arugula, it looks like, along with some beets and loads of dandelion. A ton of that in here. There is some lemon balm growing in here. Some back there. More beets. You can see the red leaf there. Let's see what else we got. Lemon balm. Nice big one. And a dianthus flower growing next to it. Got that malbar growing in here, going up this sunflower quite nicely. Going on the hunt. Okay, we got just tons of that dandelion. Okay, and then we got a nice little beet in the back we're trying to let seed. What's this we got in here? Oh, mustang grape. And there's another one. I planted several in here, and it's nice to see that they actually lived. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, asparagus. That's useful and good to eat. And I got a comfrey back here that I need to move, but it doesn't seem to mind being where it's at. Of course, plenty of sunflower. Some things that have gone dormant in here. I had some thistle, and I had some wild lettuce. Now, that's pleasing. Look at this. Mustang grape. That's going to be nice. Oh, another one. Another mustang grape. Nice. And arugula. Boy, I'm jazzed about that. The thing about mustang grape, like 1 in 10 are female when you plant from seed. So the secret is to plant a bunch until they express. Okay. Okay, I have a wall of sunflower I need to get into here to finish this garden bed. Let's see. Basically, I've walked around this one little section. We got a rose, a heritage rose, nice little pink rose. I forget the name. I'll probably annotate it. We have a Chickasaw plum not doing so well here, but it was my best producer this year. So I sure hope it makes it. I'm going to trim back some of these trees and give it a better advantage, we'll see. But you see I have a carrot that went to seed. This Chickasaw and the one behind it in this garden area died. So I'm going to have to remove them and replant. I'll probably just plant one tree because the truth is I spaced these trees way too close, which is part of the problem. All right, and you know, see, we're back here in this section. This tree I didn't cover, but that's another Chickasaw plum. Now, I had to actually walk around this Chickasaw plum tree because when I came through the first time, I actually missed this plant. What you see here, these lovely little flowers, is that grandma's hat rose. This is my largest rose bush I have of that thing. It's over 6 feet, 6.5 feet tall. Really pretty this time of the year. We don't usually get blooms, but this being a mild year, we're getting some nice little flowers even this late in the summer. So that's not bad. We have some flowers here, and they are something that was planted. I just don't remember what they were, but I'll mention them. Let's see what we got here. Okay, this next section. We have this tree, which is a hard-eared nectarine. And we have the tree behind it, which is a fantasia nectarine. They produce nectarines every year, and every year I lose almost all the entire crop. That's because I don't put any type of insect control or anything on it. I don't want to. So I think what I may do is get rid of these trees and plant something else, something that's easier and something that doesn't need all that maintenance. All right, so here in the back you can see we have a Celeste fig, and we've been eating our fill of figs this year. We ate our fill of Chickasaw plum, blackberry, several things, fuzzy bean. So we've had a decent harvest this year, and you can see the lateness in the year and how we've just now had to water. This is a nanking cherry, and I've been experimenting with it, and it seems to like this dapple shade. It does not seem to be a plant that really likes our environment here. It needs a bit more water than we have, so it's nice to see that I finally unlocked the code with that. Got a little quince here doing all right, another quince here, which earlier in the year had quince apples, which I don't see them on there now. It was their first year to produce apples. We got a dwarf mulberry here, which we ate our fill of mulberries this year thanks to this guy. All that prairie tea growing in there, and another quince. Let's see, behind that quince we have, here on the ground you see some smaller elderberries. There's one right here. Let's see if we got them anywhere else. But the main elderberry has gotten nice and tall. I mentioned in some other videos, there it is right there. That's the elderberry. I mentioned in some other videos that the secret is shade. It likes water and it likes shade. So you can get them going here. This is a dwarf nectarine, same as all the nectarines it produces, but it's difficult to get fruit off of it without treating it with insecticide. Let's go past all these. I'll come back to get some of these trees in the back. All right, so to orient ourselves, there's that Celeste fig. You can see some figs on it, even though we're having 105-degree temperatures and have for a few weeks. Here's another nectarine. This one's produced better than all of them, so I'm keeping it here for now. Might get rid of it because the spacing and just let the figs take over, because to my right, I have a turkey fig. You see the figs on it. It's not as delicious, but it produces more than the Celeste, so great fig to have. And in here I have a ginormous grapevine, although I don't think it's a female, unfortunately. But I'm gonna let it trellis through these trees until I know for sure. All right, let's go through the back here. And a pear tree. I have gotten pears this year. Not a ton, about a half dozen. That's mostly because I'm too lazy to come out here and get them before the animals do. But it was our first year to get some real nice pears, so that was nice. Off the moon glow, off every pear tree, except for one, which I haven't covered yet. But yeah, this one, it's getting quite tall. I need to give it a trimming. Well, I'll do that in the winter. All right, now back here, what do I need to include up under these trees? You got this nice shaded area. Well, what I need to include is to document that at the base of this nectarine, we got some mustang grape coming up. So overall, I didn't do too bad with those mustang grapes. Okay, since I'm already back here, let's start at the back of the backyard garden bed. All right, in this one we have quite a bit going on. We have a mustang grape in here. Let's see, we have a nanking cherry here, a nanking cherry here. This is a bucket I made a video on making. You can see the soil has sunk down. I need to do do something with this. I have nothing planted in there, but I do have plans for it, and I'll make a video on what I'm going to do. Now, mixed up under here, we have mint. This time of the year, it doesn't really shine, but you come back in the fall and winter when it gets much more wet, and it's all over the place. It's spread all into the walkway and everything. Common mint. So we got these 3. Here's the 3rd. There's another nanking cherry. Right here. You can see how they don't do as well in a drier area. You can see that mint is much more, it's seeding all over the place, which is great. Mixed in with a nice little basil, doing pretty good. All right, we have another nanking cherry next to lemon balm, which is, there's some mint right here with lemon balm. So the lemon balm is spreading itself too. As you can see, the lemon balm has a bigger leaf than the mint next to it. So we'll have mint and lemon balm mixed up in there. All right, finally got dandelion going over here, which is, I've been spreading it over here. So there's another lemon balm there, growing on its own. Fuzzy bean, that'll be a nice addition over here. Oh, look. Yeah, here's another one we have, wild strawberry. Let's hope that takes hold. And behind that, we have a nanking cherry. Oh, look, some fuzzy bean pods. Nice. To the left of this nanking cherry, we have another dwarf nectarine. Garden Delight are those dwarf nectarines, that's what they are. And behind the nanking cherry, I'll get a better shot of this on the other side. We have quince. You see this quince right here. We'll go around the other side and get a shot of that. Let's see. But before we go around there, I also have a Virginia creeper. Finally got that going over here. Can't eat it, but I thought I'd mention it because I've been trying to get them growing. And let's see here. We have spread throughout here this wild rocket arugula, growing real nice. And 2 of those perennial collards. Perennial kale, actually, is what they are. They're growing. We'll see. I had video where they were both eaten down to nothing. You can see they came back, but then they get eaten down again. I'm betting they'll do better in the fall and winter. And here we have a very nice, quite large, 3.5 foot tall maybe, yeah, Pekin, chili Pekin. I mentioned chili Pekin on my, around my pond area. Here's another one. I got several of them growing. Here's a quince. And it's gotten quite large. There's dormant garlic and dormant onion in here. Mentioned the fuzzy bean and of course the prairie tea. All right, let's go around the other side here and get some shots of those trees I mentioned. Oh, look, fuzzy bean laying in my walkway. That's nice. Made the sunflower fall over. All right, yeah, you can see sunflower makes excellent trellis for that, living trellis. All right, so here's that turkey fig. And then in between the turkey fig and the dwarf nectarine, we have this wall of quince. It's just basically 3 quince growing up through the shaded area. And they don't seem to mind it. Got some chives that I've transplanted here as a border. I'll eventually spread all the way down this thing, and this mess of Bermuda grass that's always going to be a problem until I get those trees taller. And that covers the backyard garden bed. Geez, I'm exhausted. And I haven't even remotely covered the whole property.